What is selling? Hello there. Today let's get an answer to our logical question. What is selling? If we are going to be good consultants and problem solvers, we need to continually improve our skills in order to stay competitive and to help our clients. We will want to work on all these skills we identified earlier, but again, don't look at your task of improving yourself as a negative, but look at it as a challenge, a positive. So here is a case study for you. There were once two amateur runners, Harry Bodkins and Jim Collins. These two men were about the same age, the same height, and the same build. They both had the same dream, to place in the top 200 in a marathon race that attracted thousands of participants each year. Interestingly, both had a faulty running stride, and both went to a clinic a couple of months before the marathon to get some expert advice on how to improve their stride. A coach pointed out their weaknesses and told them how to correct their problem. And now the similarities between the story of these two men ends. Bodkins visualized himself running and cursed himself under his breath for running like a duck. He vowed to correct his stride even if it killed him. Collins, on the other hand, didn't get upset. He was pleased to get the information and began concentrating on correcting his stride. He began visualizing the correct stride, and each time before he ran, he would spend some time correctly imagining it. At first, his time dropped, but he didn't get discouraged. He told himself he was just learning how to use his muscles differently. After 3 weeks of practice, positive self-talk, and visualizing the positive, Jim Collins' time was faster than ever. Bodkins continued to practice too. Every day he told himself, "Don't run like a duck." But every day, he continued to run like a duck. Eventually, he began to sustain minor injuries, and at one point his ankle bothered him so much he had to stop training for a week. Gradually, he started running again, but now he was worried about injuries, and all he wanted to do was finish the race. The day of the race, Jim Collins kept up his positive self-talk, visualized his correct running stride and a successful race, and finished 88th. He congratulated himself and set a new goal for the next year, finishing in the top 50. Harry, on the other hand, kept admonishing himself to try harder. And indeed, he did try very hard, but he couldn't change his stride. "Stop running like a duck, you idiot," he told himself. But eventually his injuries got the better of him, and he had to drop out of the race before the finish line. Harry was bitter about his misfortune and told himself, "That's it, your running days are over." Both men had sought counsel about improving their running performance. Both men used self-talk after they got their advice. How did they differ in how they used that information? Are there any lessons to be learned from this story? Please take notes for yourself. As a salesperson, two of your most valuable assets are your attitudes and your emotions. Whether you make or lose a potential sale often depends on how you manage these assets. By engaging in positive self-talk, you can master these assets and be in charge of yourself at every stage of the sale.